I love those conversations.
Stopped by the house the other night so we could just, hey, let's just chat, see what you guys got going on, kind of prepare. I think I was there for about an hour and a half.
Ian's in the background, like, ready to have dinner. Yeah. Just, I can see Ian sitting behind Mick's shoulder, kind of, like, tapping his foot. And Mick was like, oh, you guys about to eat dinner?
Patiently
no,
waiting.
No, we got.
I told him,
don't worry,
go
man.
ahead and eat,
You guys about to have dinner? I can stay.
He's too polite.
You guys got a plate?
Ian did offer him a
He did
burrito.
finally offer,
yeah. Do you just want to stay?
Finally.
Yeah.
Right. So I spent the night.
Yeah, there you go.
Sleepover.
You ever
Makes
have
sense.
those conversations with somebody where you get on the phone with them and you're just walking around your whole house?
Yeah.
I always
know what
pay
you're
for
saying.
him
And it's
on
just
the
like you
phone.
look down at your phone, it's like, shit, A, my phone's about to die, and B, we've been on the phone for an hour and a half.
And you got your steps in.
Yeah, and my daughter's crying in the background,
You'd be that person back in the day when phones still had cords that was just wrapped around the house like 6 times. Yeah, that'd be you. I don't want to hear it from you today. I just had to go Uber.
Oh,
this kid
here we go.
over
Here we go,
Let's not
dude.
worry about that. We had to pull him out of the
No
house.
good deed, dude.
No man
Yeah,
left
never.
behind.
You gotta let
Never,
me.
never.
He already sent me an invoice for the ride.
Yeah. I cut him a sweet deal though, family discount. You know what I'm saying?
Put it on his tab. But anyway, so we've mentioned you in other podcasts before because you're having such a different event this year, the virtual event. So everybody knows Pedal the Cause. You can't go to the gym. You can't go out for a walk. You can't go to the park without seeing a Pedal the Cause t-shirt. It seems like somebody's wearing one. Everybody knows who you are. And so it's going to be so different this year, and I'd love to hear what you guys have in store for this virtual event to kind of pivot for 2020. Like, what's the biggest change that you guys are making this year?
Yeah, so typically we have a bike ride in Chesterfield that draws almost 4,000 people, registered participants, cyclists, spinners, and kids. We have a kids challenge that kids come and participate in. So that's obviously a big in-person event that just was not possible this year with the public health situation and COVID. So we had to move to a fully virtual event experience where our participants are still signing up to bike, spin, walk, run, kind of create whatever kind of challenge they want to complete on their own. The same weekend, it'll be September 26th and 27th, but people are kind of breaking off into small groups and with their family units and creating their own challenges. So it'll be very, very different this year than our typical pedal experience. But we have over 2,000 people registered. I just checked this morning. I think it's 2,150.
What's
this
typical?
morning. Almost 4,000.
Dang.
So we're about half where we would normally be, but that's pretty typical for like peer-to-peer events this year. Like events just are not, obviously.
That's still a pretty good
big this
turnout,
year,
all
so-
things considered.
Yeah, having 2,000 people sign up, and we do have a registration fee. It's a $50 registration fee. So signing up, paying a $50 registration fee to do your own bike ride is pretty amazing to me.
Yeah.
That'll hold them accountable. Because if it was free, like, oh yeah, we'll do it, and then the weekend comes and nobody does anything, frankly. But if you're going to cut a $50 check, you're probably going to go ahead and raise some money.
Exactly. We had a big discussion about it with our staff because a lot of other peer-to-peer fundraising organizations, rides and runs, were not having a registration fee, and we felt like it did create some buy-in, and we're providing a lot of value to our participants who are participating on their own. So we felt like there was a need to have people buy in. And
What kind
pay
of
registration
value? I mean, are you talking about prizes or?
That's probably our favorite phrase on this
I know.
podcast. is provide
I know. I was like, I feel like I'm
value.
using
Show
like your
value.
favorite key phrase, value.
Value.
It's key.
Hear it when you
Definitely key.
sleep, people.
Exactly. So we're providing our participants with this really cool rider box that they're going to get delivered to their house the week before our event. It has a technical t-shirt, cowbell so that you can cheer yourself and your bring your cowbell on your bike,
Is
cheer
that
your
a Pedal the
family
Cause
on.
thing, a cowbell?
Yeah, we always have cowbells.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of a throw to
More
our
cowbell.
Exactly. And we actually, our staff, whenever we have a big win in at the office, we achieve a big goal. Everyone has them on their desk, and we'll ring them in the office too. So it's kind of a big part of like our pedal culture. So we basically tried to think about all the stuff that comes with the pedal weekend experience and convert every single thing we could into something you could use at home. So that's where the cowbell came from, so that you can kind of create your own finish line experience. And then, you get your jersey or tech tee. and some other fun stuff to make the weekend fun. But then we also have some prizes for fundraising. So the other big change this year is that we aren't requiring people to fundraise. So usually to sign up, you would have to commit to raising as little as $375.
So you get like a group and then
Yeah,
try to pull
it's
together.
individually. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so we have an individual commitment. So when you sign up, you individually commit to at least $375, and you can sign up as a team, but the commitment's individual. And it depends how much you have to raise. Depends on how far you want to ride, typically, and what time of year you sign up. We have an early bird discount. But this year, especially because the economy was so tough, we just felt like that wasn't.
It was tough to ask.
Yeah, it's a big ask.
Yeah.
So there's no commitment this year. It's just set a goal, do your best, which is really different, way different for us. So we're trying to incentivize people to start fundraising. So we have some cool prizes for people. If you raise $100, you get a membership to USA Cycling. If you raise $375, you get a gift card to one of our Taste the Cause partner restaurants.
That's such like a unique
It's really
way to fundraise. That's so cool. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a good way to bring everybody in too. And then the people who participate that, you know, like say that I get to fundraise, you know, like gives them a reason to kind of like track it and stay on top of it. And yeah, that's pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So everyone who registers gets like a fundraising profile, kind of like you would see on like a Facebook fundraiser or a GoFundMe, but it's through our website. And so if you sign up, you get your own profile page and you can set your own goal and you can see your progress toward your goal and who's donating, just like you would with like a GoFundMe page or something like that.
Oh, cool.
And so our whole model at Pedal the Cause is about engaging our whole community and creating a world without cancer, which is our motto, and our vision is to
Actually, can you just like give me a rundown like of what it is that you guys do?
Absolutely.
If we didn't do that before.
Yeah, so Pedal the Cause's mission is to cure all cancers for everyone. So it's like very broad. But the way that we do that is by this community cycling challenge where we ask people to fundraise from their friends and family, their coworkers, their neighbors, anyone you can find to donate. And 100% of what you raise, so if you guys like donated to my ride, every single penny goes directly to cancer research at local institutions. So we fund research at Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital, which have the highest rating. They have an excellent rating from the National Cancer Institute. It's the highest rating possible for a cancer institute. So they're really amazing institutions. And over the last 10 years, we've donated $29 million to cancer research, and it's funded 156
How long?
29 million over 10 years. 156 individual projects. And so those are adult cancers, pediatric cancers, every kind of cancer. I mean, we funded pancreatic cancer, breast cancer, brain cancer, blood cancers, anything
amazing.
you can think of, basically.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's really incredible. And the way I got involved is that I'm actually a cancer survivor. So I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma just like 2 days after my college graduation.
Oh, no.
I was in Boston that's where I went to college. I'm from St. Louis. I'm local. But I was in Boston and I got diagnosed and I went to a specialist at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, which is like a household name for cancer, you know? And so I thought I was like in the best hands there. And I told them that I was from St. Louis. That's where my parents were from. And they said, oh, if you're from St. Louis, you don't need to stay here. You should go back home. You've got that Siteman Cancer Center in your backyard. They said, you've got the best doctors there, just as good as here. You should go home.
Would you have stayed had they not said that?
I don't know. I might have. It turns out at the time I was really scared. It's obviously really
I would imagine
scary.
You'd like to be closer to your parents, your
Yeah.
family.
So I was debating it. When I went to Dana-Farber, that was kind of the big decision that my mom and I were trying to figure out is, do I try to do this in Boston where I've lived for the last 5 years? And I have some support network there, but not the same as like your parents.
Not
and,
your family, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I wanted to be like really grown up. Like I was done with college. I wanted to be like, I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
But like cancer is really hard.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Don't
Exactly.
feel that way about anything, but especially not cancer. Like there's people in your corner who want to help, I promise.
Absolutely. That was a big lesson that I learned. And that doctor really did me a huge favor by telling me that. Even if they hadn't said that, I think it would have been a lot harder decision. But that day, we scheduled when I was gonna fly home, and we made the decision that instant. We didn't think about it again, and I got to live at home and let my parents help me out and support me during my treatment. Which
Do what they want to do.
I know, which
Yeah.
my parents were extremely happy. My mom lived in Boston with me for like 2 or 3 months or 2 or 3 weeks in a hotel room while I was getting diagnosed, because I kept having these biopsies and scans and they wouldn't tell me what it was they were looking for. They just said, no, you really need this biopsy. Something's wrong. what's wrong?
Yeah.
Is it really that big of a deal? And they were like, yes, it's a big deal. And so my mom had been basically living out of like a residence inn. So she was very happy to get to be home.
Sure.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And what year was this? I'm sorry.
That was 2015. So this year is actually my 5th cancerversary, which is kind of a big deal. Yeah, thank you.
Congrats.
Because 5 years is typically when you stop needing to go. You're considered, out of the woods. And for my kind of cancer, I don't need to get checked up on by my oncologist anymore. After this October will be my last oncology appointment at Siteman.
Thank God.
Yeah,
As
there
well,
you go.
assuming everything goes well, I should knock on wood. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. For
Took the
real.
words out of my mouth, but I wasn't going to do it.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
knock
I
on
shouldn't
wood,
say that
always. No,
preemptively,
it's
but-
all good.
That's
So-
an amazing story.
Yeah.
Thank
So how
you.
did you find Pedal the Cause?
Yeah. Thank you. So I moved home and I had joined this. I had been in previous summers when I was home for the summer. I would run with this group, this Fleet Feet running group. And a bunch of my friends were going to a Fleet Feet event where this woman, Terry Grieg, was speaking. And Terry's story is wild. She, really briefly, because it is really important about how I got involved with Pedal, is she was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer while she had been completing and training and for Ironman triathlons. And while she was getting treatment, which stage 4 colon cancer is very dangerous. I mean, it's for a 5% survival rate. And while she was going through chemo and going through treatment, she decided that she wanted to compete in Ironman Kona, which is the national world championship Ironman in Kona, Hawaii. It's very, very hard. And all Ironmans are hard, but this is a very, very hard one. And she got selected as a special story, basically, an inspirational story. And the most amazing part of it is while she was training, she had to do this kind of chemo infusion where they give you a fanny pack and send you home with this fanny pack, and you have to wear it for 12 hours or something, and you're getting continuous chemo through the fanny, or 16 hours. I can't remember how long it was. And so she would, normal people would take a day off. She would get on her bike trainer at home, put the fanny pack on a stool next to her, and spin for 2 hours.
While she was doing chemo?
Yeah, while chemo is going into her blood.
Damn.
Biking on her trainer.
What were her doctors saying about that?
Her doctor was fully supportive. I think because it was one of those things where it's you know what, you don't know how long you have left. Live your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though it's kind of a
Oh,
crazy
man.
dream. And so she went to Kona. Her doctor traveled with her. This doctor from Siteman traveled with her to Kona so that he could monitor her and give her the treatment that I think she had to get an infusion while she was there or on the way or something like that. So he came with her to monitor her. She finished, and she wrote a book about it. So she was at this Fleet
As
Feet
she
event.
should have.
As she should.
Right?
Absolutely.
Really good book. The book's called Powered by Hope, and it's amazing.
Powered by Hope.
Powered by Hope. And she, that's also the name of her Pedal the Cause team. And so when she was speaking at this Fleet Feet event, I was introduced. I went with my friends. I was introduced to her. They bought me her book. She had signed it. They all wrote me notes in it. I read it. And at the event, she just met me, and she knew that I was being treated, and she said, "Come to my house next weekend. Join my Pedal the Cause team. It's a Pedal the Cause kickoff." And I was like, "What's Pedal the Cause? I don't know what that is." And she's like, "Here's my address and where to come and when." I was like, "This random lady just invited me to her house. I don't know what this is about."
So did you know that you had read the book already?
No, not at this point.
Okay,
She just
okay,
handed
gotcha,
it to me
gotcha.
and
Okay.
told me to come to her house.
Uh-huh.
This is the kind of person she is. She's
Yeah.
a really just nice person.
She gets it.
Yeah.
yeah,
she does.
what
No bullshit.
People like that are crazy to me. Yeah. So I showed up at her house, and she sold me on Pedal and talked all about it. Me and my dad. So my dad and I joined her team, and then a couple years after, we rode for a couple years on her team and fundraised. And I think the first year I raised $3,000. It was really empowering. And my first Pedal weekend was actually my first ride. I think it was only a week or a little less than a week after my last chemo infusion. So I rode 20 miles with my dad that weekend, and then Then a couple years later, we started our own team, the Biking Vikings. That's like my Pedal at the Cause team with my
Solid.
family and
Like
friends.
it.
Very
Yeah,
solid.
yeah. My family's like Norwegian heritage and from Minnesota, so really big Vikings fans.
Yeah.
So that was where
Just
the
plays in perfectly. I was gonna say if
Exactly.
you were Minnesota fans, the only thing that may be better is just the Minnesota Vikings, but you got everything. You got everything.
Yeah, see, now
You
I'm
got
like,
everything. You know, no,
shit,
you're good. You're
it's
good.
too late.
That's
It's
why we give
been
him
like,
the big
This
bucks.
guy.
Yeah.
Genius.
why didn't I know you back then? You could really help
we
me
can
out.
we can transition. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't mean to interrupt. Do you have
No,
anything?
please.
Just while it's because we were discussing this on a past podcast, just about like because I was so curious about the logistics with everything going on, especially making it all virtual and everything like that. So, September is, to say busy for us is an understatement. I think so. Like last year, the third weekend of September was when we did the bowling tournament and the golf tournament.
Same day.
We bit off a little more than we could chew, let's say, and definitely bit off more than we could drink, let's say. But so the point being is can it be done any time in that weekend, in that time frame? You said it's September 26th, correct?
26th and 27th, so that's
Okay.
a Saturday and a Sunday.
Because
and
I'm
so-
like all the way sold. I mean, and I was. And then I can
Yeah.
tell you a little bit about how like this shirt is directly involved with Pedal for the Cause and a few other things as well. But I would love to, because we ran a half marathon last year, and I just was like, I know that the logistics of fundraising and kind of keeping track and maybe like raising more money the further you go and things like that, it can't be too difficult, but I couldn't wrap my head around it in time, so we just ran that half marathon just to kind of get something under our belt and everything else. And I kept saying, moving forward, we should figure out something, where we can like push ourselves and incentivize ourselves
Yeah.
to go further. So is that something that you can do this year, even with all the virtual stuff and everything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, the cool thing about the way it works this year is that it really is made so that people can adapt it to their own, like, what a challenge is for you. So, for someone who's undergoing treatment, like I know a woman who's undergoing treatment right now and her goal is to like walk 3 miles. And for her, that's a huge physical challenge.
Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
she's already raised over $2,500. But for someone else, I know someone else who's running a marathon that weekend, a full
Right,
marathon on his
okay.
own, which is all
Gotcha.
in Forest Park, which is also crazy.
Yeah.
So you can really create your own challenge.
Yeah.
The idea is
You
to
set your own standards, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So this year you set your own standards. I know someone else who's running 100 miles one day and running a 10K the other day. You can really do whatever you want and set your own goal accordingly. So, like what I did this year is I actually completed a half Ironman, my first one, and I did it on my own because
There you
COVID
go.
got my
Congrats
race
again.
canceled.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. And that was because I was planning on doing a half Ironman when I was diagnosed, and I had to cancel it because I had to start treatment. So this
Gotcha.
year I was
So you
like,
just
I'm gonna
knocked that
do
off.
it.
You just did that.
That was in June.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Still.
did mine a little early just because I work at Pedal. So, like, my September is actually like how you were talking about your September's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
my September.
yeah.
Yeah, like, same thing. Man, I'd, like, don't sleep. So,
The Murph would be perfect.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, and I have a few buddies who we wanted to do a triathlon earlier in the summer, and then it got canceled
Yeah.
because of everything going on. And we were just kind of looking at options and basically realized, why don't we just, no offense to anybody holding triathlons, but we thought we can kind of skip the processing fees and whatnot, if we just kind of map this out ourselves. So really logistically for us right now, the most difficult thing is to figure out a place to swim that's, big enough to...
we'll talk after I have
Yeah,
some
let's
ideas.
link up
Yeah.
for that for sure. So, because I want to do a triathlon as well. I think they're called a sprint, so not the
Is it-
crazy one, but challenging enough, no
Yeah,
doubt.
for sure.
And then so I just wanted to also figure out how can I incentivize myself to push past my goals, and then not necessarily hold people accountable to keep donating, but like just again simply just the logistics of how that works. I guess I would just put out like a baseline and then just say,
Exactly.
hey, if anybody who wants to donate, if I pass my goal, that type of thing. And then you just kind of get them, incentivize the people who are already kind of watching your cause to
Yeah.
just keep track and follow along with you, that sort of thing.
Exactly. So that's exactly right. And it's really interesting that the more that people challenge themselves physically, like you're saying, the more people do fundraise naturally. There is something really powerful about knowing that someone is really pushing themselves
Yeah.
in an incredible way. And so, like I had mentioned, that I had typically raised $2,500 to $3,000 a year. This year I've raised over $5,000 for my ride. And it's just because people were motivated by the fact that I was doing this half Ironman and it was a much longer distance and that it was a meaningful anniversary to me. And so all I did was post on Facebook that I was doing this, and then the way that I got the most donations was while I was doing it, like while I was actually swimming, biking, and running, like in my transition points, I would take a picture with a sign that said who I was doing that lap for, someone who was undergoing cancer treatment, and then I would post quickly to Facebook, I'm doing this in, honor of such and such, and this is their story and their connection to me. We need to find a cure for cancer. Like, this is not okay. And then post my donation link, I'd hit send, and then I'd like go on my run, and then I'd come back and I'd do that in between. And the personal storytelling, and then the big physical challenge, and kind of that real-time update, the real-time updates were really powerful. And I think that's something that the virtual lends itself well to. I mean, you can stop and just like, we have so much technology now. Like, you can just pull up Facebook or Instagram and just go live.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey guys, I'm out here on my run. Like, I'm on mile 12 of my half marathon. I still need $500 to reach my goal. Like, come on, you can donate $10, help me get there,
Yeah.
And it obviously incentivizes you as well, being a runner, to complete whatever.
Oh my gosh, it was. And I would check every once in a while at my breaks. I would check, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, we've passed my goal. Because originally my goal was 2,500. Okay. I was like, oh well, my new goal is 5,000.
Yeah. Just keep clicking it up. Yeah, we've done a few fundraisers in the past. I definitely know. It's for a good cause. That's other than value. I think that's our second favorite line.
Like on the fly. We're as a group, we're making this up as we go. But you live it, you work it as a development manager. Were your studies in Boston related to the work that you do now, or did you just kind of pivot once you realized these real life experiences and you decided to make it a career? Was it later in life, or you always headed in this direction?
So in college, I studied political science, and I worked at some organizations that were 501c4s, which is kind of charitable nonprofit organization that does political advocacy, basically. So I'd worked peripherally to the field in those kinds of organizations, but it was when I was undergoing my cancer treatment that I decided I really wanted to have a career where I was giving back every day. That was what I needed to motivate myself to get up and go to work after going through cancer. And so I started looking at nonprofit jobs, and my first fundraising job was at the Humane Society of Missouri. I was a development assistant, basically like an office admin, but I just started learning there, and I really enjoyed it. And I started going to there's an Association of Fundraising Professionals. It's like a professional organization that I started going to stuff and learning through them kind of the best practices and more about the profession and career paths. And I decided after about a year working in the Humane Society that this is what I wanted to do, because I had taken that job thinking like, oh, it'd be fun, work with puppies,
I mean,
like, what?
Yeah. I have said it 1,000 times, fellas. What am I about to say?
I was waiting. People hate cancer
and love dogs.
Love dogs.
That's the 2 rules of charity.
That's fundraising in a nutshell.
Cancer loves dogs.
People love dogs so much more than they love cats, and Mick knows.
Yeah.
And I'm a both. I love both. And Mick knows I have 3 cats and a dog. He's met our pets before. And if you put a cat on a fundraising letter, you will raise way less money than if you put a dog on it. And
got actual science behind that.
Were true.
Fundraisers for puppies also raise more money than fundraisers for babies.
Now that I could see.
People like they do like A/B testing with people's reaction to looking at like a puppy versus a baby, and then how much money they want to give. And
like one of those
the puppy.
Quick little psychological tests. Which one would you save? Puppy every time.
Yeah. Literally. So messed up.
It's because a dog will sit there and beg for your attention and your love, no matter how
babies
crummy
just cry
you are.
And shit themselves.
And
it's
cats,
true,
they're good.
Cats
they
can take
are
care of themselves. Right. Exactly.
That's what people are codependent on their dogs. You know what I mean? So
it's true.
Yeah.
Dogs just have that look of self-preservation.
How do your sponsors feel about this event changing at such an acute angle? Are they on board? Has it been trying for you? How do you keep them happy?
Yeah, our corporate partners were one of the first people that we had to have this conversation with. So when we decided internally in late May, early June, that we were going to have to host a virtual event, before we announced it to our whole Petal family, we started talking to our corporate partners, because the cool thing about Petal the Cause is that we have it's called the 100% model. And I'd mentioned 100% of writer-raised funds go directly to cancer research. Well, we still have operational costs. We have rent, we have salaries, we have having an amazing event. It costs a lot of money. So, we still have bills to pay. and those are paid through our registration fees and our sponsors. And then we also
Very cool.
We also have some wonderful and generous individual beneficiaries who help make that possible. So we really had to make sure that we were having those conversations early and making them feel and actually having them be a part of the process
Involved.
of determining, like, what do you need in this environment? Because corporations are struggling too. So, our corporate partners, some of them said, we're not going to be able to pay up this year. Like,
Yeah.
the economy just hit a wall. It's not good. And we had to, be understanding. These are partners that we've worked with for 5, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10 years. And they've been good to us for 10 years. So, we're going to be flexible in return. And then but overall, our corporate partners have been just wonderfully supportive and have, they understand that as much as they're going through a hard time as a business, they know that cancer isn't slowing down.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
cancer
Quite the
patients are
contrary,
going through a hard
maybe.
time too, right?
Yeah.
And are at more risk than ever because they're immunosuppressed if they're going through treatment. So,
Right.
so they knew and they really stood by us and committed to us again this year at really inspirational levels for me. We were very worried about it, understandably. A lot of organizations have really struggled this year, and of course it's been a hard year, but our partners really came through, and we did work with them to offer value primarily through kind of two things. Increasing what we would usually give them in terms of like online recognition. So our website, social media, doing extra shout outs, having their logos more prominent on our website and giving them more thank yous in our newsletters, things like that, so that our community is aware of how important these partners are to us. And then same on social media. And then we also, like, all of the stuff that you get in your writer box that gets delivered to your house with your tech tea and all of that, a lot of those items have logos and recognition from our higher level partners, and then like all of their logos are on the t-shirt and on the box. So we kind of increased the recognition everywhere that we could, understanding that there's not going to be an event with 4,000 people with a big banner
Yeah,
that
with
says
eyes on it,
Edward
right.
Jones, which Edward Jones is our presenting sponsor. Typically, their name's literally under our logo on everything, and so we had to come up with new ways
There
to.
will still be an event though, right? Like you guys are still doing a wrap up or something at the end of the weekend. It's not so much these people aren't just out on their own, right?
There's no in-person gathering, but we are having an inspirational program, a live-streamed inspirational program on Saturday. So that's the primary
To culminate.
time when people will kind of come together virtually, through in their own homes. And we think some people who feel comfortable gathering with 5, 10, 15 friends or whatever will, have people over to
They can
do a
watch
watch
from home.
party. Yeah.
Sure.
So we do
fair.
have some small watch parties happening, and people and some teams are getting together throughout the weekend too. So on Saturday we're having this inspirational program, and one of the cool things that I just learned about from our marketing director recently, which I'm like super excited about, you get a surprise envelope in that box. That's a sealed envelope in that box that comes to your house that says like don't open until Saturday night when we have the inspirational program. And there's a part of the program where everyone will open that, and it's like a participatory moment in the program where people can interact
Opens it together.
yeah,
Is
we're
there
really
a
excited.
That's
cutoff
very
date
cool.
to sign up for that?
So to get the actual box delivered to your house by that weekend, you have to sign up by September 14th. But you can sign up anytime through the end of the weekend of September 27th, but we just won't be able to ship the boxes after.
Understandable.
Yeah, we got, especially with the USPS current situation. We gotta get those in the mail lickety split. So that's our next couple weeks, is making those boxes and shipping them out. So there's still plenty of time for people to register, and if people have a group of friends or their family that want to get together and do something, you can sign up as a team. So that's what I have, a friends and family team, and my team is getting together for sort of a mini event. They're riding together at Madison County Trails, which is this really cool trail system over in Illinois. It's very pretty, really nice place to ride. So it's probably 10 or 15 people are going to get together and ride together on Saturday morning for our team. And so that's a cool way for people. A lot of teams are doing that, kind of these mini events to fundraise.
Is that open to anyone? Can you just kind of throw an event?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I guess you're not going to
long
not
as
take
it's
a
legal.
check, but yeah. But
long
if
as
somebody
it's
wants
legal.
to do that, what do they do if you want to do a mini event? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have anyone can register and sign up as a team, and it's it's really up to people to decide how they want to celebrate. So we aren't encouraging too much event-related activities that weekend because of COVID. We don't want to. We want people to be careful and do what they feel safe doing. So we're trying to leave it really flexible. But all of our team captains, I'm sending out some information in a couple of weeks about how they can get some materials for their events and be supported. But it is pretty much like a DIY activity for event weekend. But we're seeing some teams do some really creative things. I have a team who is doing an Everest challenge where a couple people in groups of it's like 5 or 10 are trying to cumulatively on pedal weekend get their elevations to add up to the elevation of Mount Everest.
Very
So
cool.
there's really fun things that you can do with the numbers to just be able to make it a fun weekend and kind of do whatever's fun for you. And they love climbing, so
Is
Yeah,
this
no, that's
isn't your
perfect.
guys' only event, correct? You do other events throughout the year. This is just the largest.
yeah. So this is our main event. The other events that we have throughout the year are either supportive of this one. So like we have typically something in February and March called the Corporate Challenge Breakfast, where we have it's like a networking breakfast where we have speakers from some of our partners talking about corporate philanthropy, but that's really a recruitment event for Pedal Weekend.
Okay.
So everything's pretty focused on Pedal Weekend. The one thing that is, I think, especially you guys in your audience would enjoy is we have a group called the Friends of Pedal, which is like our young friends board. And they do an event called Paddle for Pedal, typically in August, usually the first Friday in August, first or second Friday in August, at the Boathouse in Forest Park. And so we
cool.
get paddle boats, and we have cocktails, and we have these really cool, they're called bike blenders. So it's a bike that you put on like a trainer, and it has a blender on the back, and when you pedal the bike, it turns the blender.
Yeah.
I need that in my house.
Yeah, so we make cocktails on it. Well, sometimes we make smoothies if it's morning. For Friends of Pedal, we make cocktails. So we do like frozen margaritas on the back of the bike blender. So you got to get on the bike and pedal to make your
That's pretty
drink.
sweet.
I
Yeah.
kind of wonder why
it's really
all
fun.
appliances aren't set up like that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
We'd all be in a lot of
birds
good
with
Especially
one.
your
You know what I'm
dishwasher.
saying?
Your
Yeah.
dishwasher would be perfect
Yeah.
to put on like a
All
row
of it.
machine or
All of
a
it.
bike.
Washer,
Yeah.
dryer, just have family. Like when the kids are getting rambunctious, just have them hop on and do the laundry.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, so one thing I was going to interject is, so I'm already coming up with some stuff in my head off the bat. The missus and I, we just started biking not too long ago, and we were discussing things like trails and whatnot to go ride on, and there's actually a great trail right here that I'm not sure if it crosses River to Perry yet, but it's getting there. So that's one thing that we were talking about with this. Yeah. So we'll have to discuss that in the future as well. And then I have the Whalens, who I don't know if you're familiar with any of those guys, but they're right over
They've met.
on the other side. Yeah, I figured as much. So they're right over on the other side. I know Nick's, he's often, we were just discussing this on the way here. Yeah, one of those desert places that doesn't sound too fun to be. But I was thinking about, obviously, I'm sure that they have something they're working on, or probably already solidified at this point, about how to keep everybody incorporated. But then I just thought about a few other buddies that I have who all bike, and maybe if we can't even all get together, like a type of streaming type thing, where we could all join each other. And then one other thing is, do you guys do anything with Strava, just like the app? Do you know what that app is?
Yeah,
Okay.
actually. So I use Strava a lot.
Okay.
I'm a big fan. I just started using it this year, actually. And so we are, we have a Pedal the Cause club on Strava that
Okay,
you can join.
perfect.
And then a lot of our teams have started their own clubs too. So, because you use it, but in case any of our listeners don't, Strava is an app where it's like an activity tracking app, but it's also linked to your social media. And so
Right.
you could give each other kudos. Like I could see where you rode. I could comment on it and like your ride. But then you can join clubs and you can kind of compete. Like there's a weekly leaderboard for the most miles and that kind of stuff. So we have one for Pedal overall. And then some of our individual teams are using that as a way to stay connected. Like you
Okay,
were saying, in this
perfect,
virtual
yeah.
environment, like maybe a whole team, some of our teams are huge. I mean, Powered by Hope had over 300 participants on their team last year.
Gotcha.
Like 300 people, should not be riding together.
Yeah.
COVID.
What's the average?
Or
What's the
maybe-
average?
Just stretch out a little bit.
What's the average? I'd say the average is probably somewhere around 20. That's
Really?
totally off the top of
Okay.
my head.
First of all, yeah, if you just stay 6 feet apart, I dig what you're saying. But
yeah. There's only a handful of teams that are over 100, and then there's a lot
That's a goal
between
for the future.
10 and 50.
yeah.
My team usually has like 12, so we're on the smaller side.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
depends too. Like we have 3 categories of teams. So we have corporate challenge teams. That's, your Edward Jones, your Clayco, your companies where everyone in the company, not everyone, but they have a company effort
Yeah.
to give back and participate.
They put it out there for their
And a lot of the
employees to-
companies pay for registration or donate to your fundraising and are really supportive of their company teams. And then we have hospital affiliate teams. So one is Gyn-Onc Teal on Wheels. They are the gynecological oncology department at Siteman. So like gynecological cancers at Siteman. It's a
mouthful.
hard word to say, isn't it? So ovarian and urine cancers at Siteman, they all ride together, and it's that team's made up of oncologists, nurses, and patients' families. So it's really cool because it brings together like really broad
full circle.
spectrums
Yeah.
of people. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really amazing. And then those people's kids too. And then we have friends and family teams, which is my team, Powered by Hope, and those are just people who just want to get together. The Waylands.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
Nick is a member
is a
of our Friends of
giant
Pedal
clan
group
in
too.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
would
the
make
Waylands.
sense.
Oh my gosh! Every time I am at anything pedal, I meet another Wayland brother,
Uh-huh.
one of Dan's brothers, and I swear they multiply.
Yep.
I don't.
Yeah, it's like exponential. No, I know. Yeah. So
And they're
I was,
all the nicest people.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So I said this is because this is from
Yeah.
his wedding weekend. We all wore these because Dan was a huge fan of. Actually, I was just telling Cuzzy on the way over at Dan's funeral. Unbeknownst to me, they just said wear a Hawaiian type shirt, right? So I wore my Cardinals Hawaiian shirt because that was the only one I had, and he's a giant Cubby fan. So the whole family
You
was
basically
just
spat on his grave.
snake eyeing me the whole time. Yeah, but I said, like this is exactly what he would want right now, So I was able to flip it around. But yeah, so I figured I would wear this shirt, and then we could basically, like I'm getting the themes going on all that type of stuff. Maybe something more breathable than this, to be honest. Now that I wore it today. But anyways, I was gonna say, it would just be cool, even if we can't really get everyone together. That would be something, have people take pictures and post them with their Hawaiian shirts, that type of thing. So I'll definitely be talking to Nick in the upcoming future as well. And then my mom's birthday is, I'm not sure if you're hip to that backstory at all, if you guys have discussed anything, but she is actually going on about 1.5 years now, I guess. We kind of just stopped counting, to be honest with you. But last April 7th, she was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And so advanced, really, that I'm not even totally sure if they were able ever to, I believe it's small cell, but that was something that it was just, it was everywhere. So they gave her 3 to 8 months originally, which we don't believe in that word terminal. And so now, lo and behold, we are about 1.5 years later, and she's still kicking. And actually, so what I was just thinking as well is it would be nice I really wanted to, thank everybody involved with everything so far, her oncologist, everybody out at Siteman, and then she just had this wonderful gentleman by the name of Dr. Dunn who did a brain surgery on her last Friday.
Gavin Dunn?
I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm not totally sure. I know that
I think that's who it might be. Gavin Dunn is a pedal funded researcher and a
Is he?
surgeon at Siteman and a pedal rider.
That's awesome.
Do you know, is he a soldier as well?
Maybe.
I
He's
know
like
this-
a youngish man.
I know this gentleman just got back because I always tell my mom, like, you have this warrior spirit and you just don't worry about anything. And I thought it was incredibly fitting that the gentleman who did her surgery just got back from Afghanistan doing surgeries out there on the field. So, yeah, it all just fit together pretty well. And he did such a phenomenal job, you couldn't even tell. Like, they specially braided her hair to cut into it, you know what I'm saying? And usually all the nurses were telling her how crazy that type of thing was. Like, just the treatment she got was as top notch as could possibly be. So I think this would be cool to incorporate all of them as well and try to get everybody affiliated. So
Dude,
yeah, that'd be something to build on for
fucking
surely.
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things is getting to work with the physicians and the nurses and everyone at Siteman. They are so passionate about their work, and there are so many of them that not just provide amazing patient care and do like groundbreaking research, but then have these teams and recruit their patients and nurses and staff to fundraise and raise.
It gives them a
tens
real
of thousands
opportunity
of
to
dollars.
build a real relationship outside of everything that's going on, which is probably so cool for them. you know, because there's
Well,
probably
right.
a
Again,
lot of,
getting to affiliate, outside of all of this, because I still speak with a few of just the practitioners and other, people who are just keeping tabs on my mom, and they will literally, if they can't get a hold of my mom, they will call me directly, and say, hey, get your mom on the phone, tell her we need to speak with her or whatever. And I thought, this is so cool. Like, I'm almost developing a personal relationship with these people, but it would be cool to have something to kind of go back and forth on and communicate on that isn't just keeping tabs on mom and all
And
that.
it's probably so easy for them to get a hold of the bad stories. Like if something went wrong, they all know it. But if something goes right, those people probably often leave the hospital and you never hear from them again. That would be like the perfect scenario.
Right,
so it's probably
right.
such a morale booster over there, even if it's just one person to say like she's safe, she's happy, she's home.
Oh,
to hear those things when you just hear so much negativity day in and day out.
Yeah,
to have
right.
that
And
connection.
I wouldn't say it's a thankless job, but there's a lot more that can go wrong than right. So that's for
They
sure.
know that.
Anything like this to just put a
Special
positive
person
spin on it
who's
would
doing that
definitely be.
job.
And then so my mom's birthday is September 3rd. She will be 50. Very huge to her.
Woo-woo.
Shouts out, Mama. So that I think would be a perfect little thing to culminate her birthday. So and definitely got the wheels spinning. No pun intended.
Hey, Corey, one thing that I want to talk about, not to change the subject, but I'm going to, because I was excited about this one, is that we talked a little bit about Taste the Cause.
Yeah.
So is Taste the Cause direct? Do you have to be a part of Pedal Weekend to do the Taste the Cause? Will you explain Taste the Cause? Because I kind of want to do Taste the Cause.
That sounds more down Nick's alley.
It is.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So-
13 years in restaurants.
Is there a drink the cause?
Oh yeah, there are drinks at Taste the Cause.
Perfect.
So Taste the Cause and a typical pedal, pre-COVID times would be on Saturday night before our inspirational program. We have chefs from all around St. Louis expo their food. And you can get samples from all of them, like hefty samples, like this is dinner. And we have, just some of the restaurants we have off the top of my head are Nudo House, Peacemaker, 1111 Mississippi, Shake Shack, Soul Taco. So it's a really interesting, it's a really good selection. Like it's
wide variety as well.
amazing. And Gerard Crafts restaurants are a part of it as well. So really amazing selection. And so you get to sample all their food, get a big meal, and then we also are sponsored by Michelob Ultra and Truly. So you get some drinks with your dinner as well, and usually that's all included in the registration fee, which in a normal year is $100 to $125. Includes dinner and drinks that night, the inspirational program, and then breakfast and lunch the next day as well. So this year, instead, because you can't really have thousands of people gather and eat small plates safely right now, we are having all of those chefs do these cooking videos in this Taste the Cause Chef series that we're publishing weekly. And so 2 weeks ago, we had 1111 Mississippi chef do a pasta that that night, I wasn't planning on doing this. The email went out. I hadn't even seen it. I watched the video and I was like, that looks so good. I have to make that for dinner tonight. And I went to the grocery store and bought the ingredients and cooked it. And it was so easy and so good. And then last night, I haven't watched the video yet, on Friday, we released one from Shake Shack about a hot dog recipe.
Okay.
And I haven't watched it, but people keep emailing me and with laughing faces about the hot dog video. So I'm guessing it's really good. So check that out. I still need to watch it. I've been
Hopefully
too
it's
busy.
not something embarrassing about you.
I don't think so. Yeah, everyone's just like, we didn't tell Corey about this hot dog video. Har, har, har.
I love that because it's such a great pivot.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have not missed a beat. We have been putting our heads together for months now of how do you provide value for a virtual event. But something as easy as that, like, hey, quick video, if it's you and your significant other, you're alone, your kids, whatever, at the house, watch a cool video from a local chef make a nice dinner. Like, that's an experience.
Oh yeah.
You're selling an experience.
It's all about experiences.
And then recreating it yourself. Like, I think the biggest value you can provide right now is, again, just a type of sense of camaraderie or, just to kind of alleviate that isolated feeling. So to just engage
true.
everyone together. So I think that's the perfect way to do something like that. I think we might be onto something, again, just with taking videos,
Might
leading
be
up to
stealing a
Pedal for
couple
the
ideas.
Cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
more
think-
like a collusion type thing.
To
we're
get the
colluding
family together,
but-
to get the family together is key though too.
But
exactly.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a big focus this year is that you can do this as a family.
Yeah.
Because you know, like we're all so close together. You know, like you run out of shit to do. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah,
not a
it's
whole
true.
lot of stuff to do. You know,
Yeah.
you can't just pack up and go to the movies or go out to eat. And
Well, yeah, and
So,
especially right now, right?
it's like
so.
making a night of it with just your immediate family where you're gonna eat dinner anyway. That's pretty fun. That's awesome.
It makes it fun. And
Yeah.
then, you know, the next level is like I had posted to my Instagram story while I was cooking it, like the ingredients and like videos of me
Yeah, doing it.
cooking it, and like, you know, tagged Pedal and Pedal reshared it, and those kinds of things make it also make sure that that's delivering value to our chef partners. So, you know, these chefs have been a part of the Pedal family and have been giving back to our community for years. And so we were worried that by having to cancel Taste or not have an in-person Taste this year, that we would be really hurting these restaurant businesses that are already really suffering because we're not giving them this business
Yeah.
that we typically give them.
Yeah.
And so this was a great way for us to showcase them to our audience. You know, not only did I made dinner, but now I'm more familiar with 1111 Mississippi. I'm also more likely to go get a meal from there,
Yeah.
especially because one of our fundraising incentives are gift cards to our Taste restaurant partners. So I got a gift. I raised more than $375, so I have a $25 gift
Humble
card to
brag
Shake Shack.
over here.
Damn.
So I have a gift card to Shake Shack, and so, you know, like, I'm more likely to also go, you know, while it's for $25, I'm probably going to spend more than that.
Yeah.
Ian and I
Yeah.
getting dinner. I'm going to get like a
The whole point of giving you a $25
milkshake.
gift card.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. So they got, you know, the income from the gift card purchase that was sponsored by a partner of ours, Luxco, who's a liquor distributor. Which is a good partnership for them because they sell to restaurants, right? So, like, the key to all of this, like, providing value is just, like, making sure that it's a two-way street. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, we're giving back to our restaurant partners, and then they're giving back to us by providing content. It's not just that they're giving us something, it's a relationship.
Oh,
and it's
for sure.
long term. And that's the thing is, you know, it probably would have been really different if we were a newer organization or if these programs had been new. I mean, if we'd just done Taste for the first time last year, these chefs might, who knows, they might not have been motivated to take 30 minutes out of their day to make a video.
I'd argue this is
Who
a better
knows?
deal for chefs. I mean, I grew up in a kitchen. I was a dirty restaurant kid for a long time, and if you can feel like
It was a
you
dirty
for
restaurant.
real,
Dirty,
I'm
I
a
know.
kid.
True, he recruited me. Yeah, he got me
Stinking
in the
like a
game.
fryer, you know.
Mhm.
But I think that, like, if you feel like you get to know someone and their food and their art, if you really appreciate cuisine, I think that their exposure, while maybe not greater, they're maybe not serving 1,000 heads, but if 500 people watch that video and can watch them cook,
Yeah.
can cook one of their dishes and connect that relationship, I would argue
Exactly.
that they're more likely to go visit that restaurant in the future
Yeah.
than they
Yeah.
would be having just have their
Yeah.
food and several other restaurants
Yeah.
all in the same evening. I think that's really cool. That you
Like
And
the exposure being tied to a good cause, like we always
Quality
say. Again,
exposure.
exactly. And it's
Yeah.
the mutual, it's just mutually beneficial. It's like so organic, you know. It's like one thing I've been working on lately, like you said, with liquor. They have value, but then you can turn something that doesn't have much value into cold hard cash and give it to a charity, you know. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you could take those little liquor distribution baskets of, they've got like hats, you know, whatever else, and then so, oh, where'd you get that basket from? Oh, that was tied to a good cause. So again, it's just kind of a better, you know, PR move for them, and it just gives a little more incentive behind everything, and it all just works out, like I said, organically. It's almost just like so simple,
Yeah.
you know, that it just
well,
makes
it's
sense.
only so simple because Pedal has such clear transparency.
Yeah, very true as
Right.
well.
Is your
yeah.
title, is it marketing manager?
Development manager.
So is that is it safe to say that's like the same, or?
It basically means fundraising manager. So
Fundraising.
my role is in fundraising. We have an amazing marketing communications
Yeah,
director
it
as well.
sounds
that
like
is-
it.
Yeah, she's fabulous, and our whole staff is amazing. But I work with our development director, Stacy, and I are the ones who are responsible. She primarily does these sponsorship relationships. I'm familiar with them because
Yeah.
I work closely with her. And then my role is more talking to people at Corey who want to start a team
Yeah.
and helping him get through that process. Like,
Which you've done
and
a phenomenal
Yeah.
job
Yeah.
at, by the
No,
way.
yeah.
Helping answer questions,
while on the
provide
air, but
resources.
yeah.
You
Like,
do
I have, like,
such a great
toolkits
job
and-
of representing your guys' brand. Seriously, like all the way up to the top, you've done a good job of painting a picture of this organization.
Transparency is
Seriously,
definitely clear.
This has been a very great episode.
Well, this
You've-
is actually a great time to pivot because we are towards the end of our conversation. So we always do our wins between the last episode 2 weeks ago and what we're recording tonight. So Corey, we're going to start with you. And I know that you live your brand, your job is your life, and you don't have a ton of separation. But what have you accomplished in the last 2 weeks at work or even personally that you're proud of? What's your win lately?
Yeah. My biggest win has probably been, this is going to be so like nerdy inside baseball, but it is what comes to mind. And I totally forgot to prepare for this question. So it's the first thing that popped into my head.
That's how we want it.
I was able to work with our board of directors to reach out personally, and this is the kind of stuff that I do in fundraising is building personal relationships. So worked with our board, who are all volunteers, and had them basically call every one of our top fundraisers who hasn't registered for Pedal this year and make sure that they got a phone call from a volunteer, a friendly face, checking in on them and making sure they're doing okay. Let them know what's up with Pedal this year and invite them to register, because this year is weird and people have so much stuff going on, and just a simple reminder about that is really powerful, and it had a huge impact on our registration. And we got a lot of people to sign up who always meant to, but you get busy, you have a conversation like this and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna sign up. Shit happens, kind of like going on,
Right.
And so that little reminder, it seems really simple, but that project has really helped us retain some of our most important fundraisers who make the biggest impact on cancer research. And for me, that was something where I was like, oh, this project I did is clearly going to result in a bigger check that we cut to Siteman later this year, and
For
more
sure.
cancer research funded, and it was exciting to just see, to be able to see our registration ticking up every day. I mean, we're having 30-40 people register every day, and every day I just get so excited to have
That's great
people
brand
coming in.
awareness.
Amazing.
That
And
means
also
that
just
your
that
brand's
little
just out
due
there.
diligence.
Yeah.
In all of our lines of work, I think that you would say the most important thing, for me personally at least, is just simply following up a lot of the time. So,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, so you just hit
They're
the
not
nail
gonna
on the
call
And
head,
in a
you
way
know?
that's
Right.
personal and human.
Right.
I could have sent, we sent marketing emails to these people.
Yeah.
But
You know how many of
that's not
those
the
they
same.
get?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
You know?
many. You get so many emails.
Especially if
and
they're very charitable. They're getting something from
Yeah.
the Humane Society, the APA,
Yeah.
everywhere.
People got a lot coming at them, but it takes time to open up your phone and make a phone call, and
Right.
that is so much more meaningful. And that's my favorite part about my job, is that I get to call our team captains and talk to them about what they're doing and why they're passionate about Pedal, and it gets me I'm obviously very passionate about this.
Hey, can I
because of it.
stroke your
Yeah.
ego real quick? One thing that she hasn't mentioned in this whole interview, do you guys want to take a stab at how many people are running the show at Pedal the Cause? 6.
So am I going? Yeah, I was
Six
going to
Oh,
say high or
really?
low,
Put
Yeah.
this together.
over under.
Really?
That's
yeah,
incredible.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? 6 board member? What is?
No, that's 6 full-time staff.
Really?
Wait.
Holy shit.
Oh, she's over here like,
It's-
actually,
yeah,
I
six.
think it's
6.
Well, then
Four.
and then we have a part-time consultant, and then a board
a
of
couple
volunteers.
moving parts, but
Yeah.
still,
Oh,
the,
well,
the
okay, now it
infrastructure
makes sense.
it consists of essentially, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
She's doing the
I mean-
work of
That's
2
amazing.
people over there.
well,
No, you
to say
really
the
are.
least, yeah.
You really are. This
Yeah.
has been such a good episode. You've
Yeah.
been doing.
Well,
Yeah,
Colin,
we're
we're
a
going to swing
lean
it
and
over to
mean
you.
team.
What happened in the last 2 weeks that you're proud of?
Last 2 weeks, I'll shout out. Yesterday, I did my first Murph challenge, which is a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then finish off with a 1 mile run.
Are those bodyweight squats or with a kettlebell?
Yeah, body weight. Yeah.
Go ahead, say your time on air.
Ideally, you would do it. Ideally, you would do it with a 20-pound vest. I didn't have that.
I told him I would duct
'cause he
tape
was-
some
yeah.
10-pound plates together and just put them
Some-
on them, but
some
he didn't
10-pound
want anything to
dumbbells
do with
around
it.
my ankles.
Adapt, overcome.
Improvise, baby.
Or
Yes.
around your ankles.
Yeah, right. So completed that, and that was a big step. I wanted to do that for my birthday, and Sunday it was just like I was starting to get to the later part of the afternoon into the evening, and I was like, oh, I'm getting lazy. I don't know if
Could
this
see
is
it
gonna
slipping.
happen. And then so I just got up and did it, and I was proud of myself. That's a big win. That's something I'm gonna do again to try to get a better time. My time was anywhere in between 55 and 58 minutes. My phone shut off at that time.
See why I got to keep tabs on this kid? Because now
It
it'll be 45 minutes next time we talk.
It shut off at like 47 minutes, and I was like at the top of my street. So
See, he already dropped it from 55 to 47.
That's pretty
10 seconds
conservative
of
to give me 55 to 58. And the only reason I'm saying 58 is because I checked a text message that came in at a certain time. So I was like, that's how I'm gauging my time right there.
We'll get down next Monday.
Yeah.
We'll have
All
it
right.
solidified
Yeah.
for sure.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna start a Murph Monday.
I can't wait.
That's just gonna be the thing on Mondays from now on.
Every time you pick on me, I knock it down. Every single time.
So it's basically a 1 hour workout. Like if you can knock it
Yeah.
out in under an hour, you should.
I think
be proud
they
of
said
yourself.
what you want to get it under like 50, like in like 55 minutes ish.
47 minutes is the average.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
the average of who?
I don't know. I
I guess
read it.
everyone,
Yeah.
which means that
Everybody who does it.
I
Yeah.
think if you can knock that down in under an hour, you should be proud.
Well,
of
Oh,
I
yeah,
will
man.
say that I think it's military based, right? So it's
Yeah.
after. I don't want to screw up the title, so I won't even go there. But I know it's in honor of some gentleman, Mr. Or somebody Murph.
Murph.
So
Murph.
yeah, I'm just butchering
It's
this, but
in honor of
because
Murph.
I don't want to, titles are important, so I don't want to mess it up. But it's military based, so I would guess that there's a lot of military gentlemen that do it. Hannah and I actually just went up to JB today to scout out, fittingly enough, over to Jefferson Barracks to scout out their little trail. So I think that's something that we're going to start doing on Mondays, is because they have the pull-up bar along the trail, and then you can kind of do
the
everything
benefits
all at once.
of that workout is way more mental than it is physical.
Of course.
Because I got halfway through and I was like, oh man, like there's no glory in this. I'm not gonna like post this, or nobody's gonna know if I do it or whatever. Between maybe
We're
like
all gonna know.
2 or
Yeah.
3 people, and and so I just gutted it out. So I was very proud of myself. Feeling very good physically lately. Shout out to Progress Fitness.
Cheap plug.
And everything's going right professionally. So I'm winning in all directions
You've
right now.
only gotten better this year. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I give you a lot of trouble. I always call you, pick on you, tell you how hard I'm working, make sure that you're keeping up.
But that's why we created this mastermind group, though, to begin with. The charity aspect just kind of came, over a couple beers. We were just like, dude, we are good people. You just kind of get sick of just throwing a dollar and wondering where that dollar is going. You know what I mean? Like, to do something and put in the work is, it's something that I want my daughter to talk about as she gets older. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And it's very special. I'm so happy that you came on. This has been so great.
This has
I'm
brought
gonna-
a lot
I'm
of
gonna
things
get
to
that book,
fruition,
yeah.
I will say. To
You
be honest with
you guys are
it
leaving
has.
no stone unturned either. Like, you guys are working around
Yeah.
around the year. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
it sounds like you have very good sponsorships coming in from the very top, and people who really care about your cause. So, yeah, great to have you. So,
Thank
Yeah,
you. It's
absolutely.
fun.
Segue.
Splendid.
Yeah, we're gonna kick it over to me because I had 3 closings today.
Woohoo!
Holler.
Yeah, that was I guess you could say that was my most successful day ever. Not just in real estate, like probably as a person. I mean, driving around letting three families. letting 3 families into
That's
their
the producer.
houses today. So I guess shout out to me for doing all the work.
Yeah,
My God,
super
I
cool.
was going crazy too. I've been juggling 4 or 5 deals all at the same time for months now, and so to put 3 of those to bed all in the same day, now I can focus on other stuff, on the little things that make me better at my job and make the business kind of more important.
Yeah.
I get to go search for new business, go out, kind of hang out with people, see what they really want. I can make it more personal, whereas I get a little bit of a lull, which I'm really excited to see. I did have a good win. My friend bumped into some friends, Tommy and Haley. I met them when I was working in Clayton, and Haley's moving back from Boston. She just took a job in Wellston, and I honestly can't remember, community center or something along those lines. So she's in social work. She's really sharp. I'd like to have her on the show. So it was really cool to see her back in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then Matt Wallace, shout out to Matt Wallace, who I sent your way. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah, we'll
sitting,
be getting him in the dojo soon.
sitting at a going away party the other night, chatting with Matt. I see him at the gym all the time, and he lives like a block from Corey. He kind of had mentioned, I don't know how we got on the topic.
got this fucking crazy guy doing workouts
Well,
out of
kind
his
of,
garage.
listen, he says, so he's been working from home, and I know a lot of guys that work for AB, and, we're just kind of chatting about that, and he said that he's been going on a run every day at lunch to break up the day, and then at the top of his street, every day, he sees garage door open, guys working out, hitting the bag, whatever, and I'm like, dude, that's my cousin, just walk in, like, just
Yeah.
So as soon as he walks in, I think that's going to be, I'm really excited to send him over there, because it's almost like you don't know if you can walk in when you're going by Corey's house, but definitely just walk in.
It's certainly a little intimidating, but definitely that is the
You get questioned,
The premise of all of it is it's an open door policy for sure.
Exactly.
Quite literally an open garage door. So
that's
why we leave
really
it like
cool
that.
to connect those dots and send him that way. So
Yeah.
I guess we can kick it over
Much
to you.
appreciated, by the way.
What
Yeah, so
happened
all the
last
glory
2
goes to
weeks?
Mom this week for your boy. I mean, she had I guess as intense as you could brain surgery. She got a golf ball sized tumor removed from
Boom.
her
Whoa.
the back left side of her brain. And then got up. That was Friday morning, and then Sunday morning she woke up and was FaceTiming me and was ready to rock. She was getting dressed and said, "Hey, come get me." So I said, "Okay, well, make sure you clear it with the doctors and everything first, right?" And her main surgeon, so I guess the doctors that were supposed to be taking care of her were kind of like, "No, we don't think this is all right. You know, you're supposed to be here until Tuesday at the very least." And her main surgeon, sure enough, shout out Dr. Dunn, I believe. I really hope I'm not butchering that one, but if I am, I'll make amends for that later on. But he basically said, I mean, look, like, you know, I don't know what to tell you. This lady's she's crazy. You know, she's recovered, so she can't do anything else here. Go ahead and send her home and let her get her rest. So shouts out to Mom on that one, and so happy birthday as well. September 3rd is her birthday coming up, and for me, that's the basically not the anniversary of all of this, but when she was diagnosed last April, and then our daughter was born within the same week span, and then 3 weeks later we had a fundraiser fully ticking for her. Shouts out to baby mama Hannah on that one. She got a lot of that done, majority of that work done. And that's when we realized, especially being industry people and just having so many incredible connections, like this is something that we basically would be remiss if we didn't do our best to help, just get everybody that we could from our community to help anybody that needs it. And we've all gotten help along the way. And that's, my mom's whole motto has always been. Yeah, exactly. And my mom's whole motto has always been the more you give to others, the more you'll get in return. And it's it's a very real thing, the law of attraction. And she's certainly living proof of it to this point. So shouts out to Mama. I'll save my humble brags for next time we get here. Love you, Mom.
So we do need to talk about next time. So if her birthday's September 3rd, I think we're meeting on the 7th. I never did housekeeping. It's going to be just the three of us. We're going to chat about virtual events. So I'm going to...
Is that Memorial Day?
Is it?
I believe it is.
Yeah, that's
September
yes.
5th is September 5th is going to be Mom's B-Day party, and that's where she wants to keep it very low profile this year, but we'll probably But the 7th we'll probably reconvene
around
on
the
that.
7th, we're going to talk about these virtual events. So we have the Nintendo
7th-ish.
Wii Golf Tournament coming. A little bit of this is on me. I'm still kind of trying to figure out the right platform to use. I think ultimately it's just going to be us on camera, and the other 9 teams are kind of going to be a little bit of an honor system. Maybe if we're all working at the same time, you just text me, snap me, Facebook message me, send smoke
There's so
signals.
much social media.
Whatever,
We could
just
get
send me
connected
your
somehow.
scores. We'll have like a little maybe interactive scoreboard, something like that. Corey's going to help me with that.
Yeah.
We're going to bend her ear on some of the logistics behind the scenes. I've got the kid that we met from the other side of the state, as well as Ian Wright's going to help me. And then Sober October. So Sober October's coming. I'm working on a platform where if Corey's going to videotape a body weight 15-minute roughly, I think we're thinking workout in the beginning of the day that with the touch of a button, everybody will just get that on their phone. So just be texted out. Do it, don't do it, we don't really care. And then probably break up into some teams where if you need somebody to call or you need somebody to call you, we'll take care of that. So that's really good. But I think what we were leaning towards is maybe making the Sober October benefiting us. But I feel okay with paying for this out of my pocket and the other things that we've been paying for, because 700 bikes were just lost when Lemp Brewery collapsed the other day. So your friends at Bike Works took a huge hit. It's really hard to get a hold of bikes. I think maybe Sober October could go for Bike Works. Gonna throw that out there right now. We're gonna have to chat about it, but
We got a lot to talk about for that, though, too.
Yeah.
we do. I think Sober October is gonna be an easy one, and then Wii Golf. We're still stacking Wii's, so if anybody has Wii's,
Yeah.
they came out in 2005. I know you got one in your closet. You know?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I've reached out to 3 different people, just main family members, and they've all said, like, yeah, I don't care, take it. So, yeah, that's been cool. And then also October is going to culminate with I'm putting together a little training camp for a buddy of mine who's got an amateur fight coming up. So,
Cool.
So we're going to be having that going as well. So everybody know that some of these workouts are doing, an MMA fighter's doing them as well. So that's a little bit
When
of incentive
is the
there.
fight?
I think we still got to get tabs on that. The last weekend projected of October, so it'll kind of be perfect to culminate with everything else going on, you know.
So I don't know the guy, but I know a lot of those amateur fighters have to sell their own tickets.
Yeah, no, we will definitely get something going on that in the future. That's why I just wanted to put a little bug in
Yeah.
everybody's ear
that'd be
there.
awesome.
But yeah,
We
this
could
is
all
going to
go
be a
out, get
very
bunch of
cool
folks
thing.
To go out and support them. That'd be
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, dude, and they're
really
so
cool
fun
giveaway.
to go to.
They
too.
are. It's
They are.
fun. So Corey, if somebody has to get a hold of you for pedal-related information, how would they do it?
Yeah, pedalthecause.org. All of
Perfect.
our contact info's on there. You can email me, which is Corinne, CORINNE, at pedalthecause.org. And check out the website. There's lots of information about the Pedal the Cause Inspired, our event this year. And, of course, reach out if anyone has questions.
Is
but
that your
the more
full
the
name?
merrier.
Is
Corinne.
Corinne your full
Corinne,
name?
yeah. Corey's short for
Okay.
Corinne. Really
All
throws
right.
people. Yeah.
You're kind of just jacking my name. You know what I'm saying?
I was called Corey my entire life by my family and friends until I was one of those people who, like, after college, I was like, I'm going to use my full name. Started going,
Corinne.
I'm going to be really
do you wanna
fancy.
know what I used to-
Pinkies out. I'm going to start going by Corinne. It really confused a lot
When
of
people would
It
ask
still
if
does.
Corey was my full name, I used to tell them, no, it's Cornelius. So, so you can always go with that one as well. Feel free to snag that.
And make sure you sign up by September 14th if you want the full Pedal the Cause experience
Yeah.
this year. We
The
gotta
full
get that
Monty.
done. Kyle McNeil, somebody has to get a hold of you. Insurance, life coach, mustache.
Email address
advice.
is usually the best, and I'm sure we'll list it down below. So first dot last name COLIN.MCNEIL at CrawfordButts.com. Butts is BUTZ like zebra.com.
Corey, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Personal training, insurance.
PRGS_fitness24 on Instagram, and Corey.C Donovan at AT Insure for any insurance needs. But one, you can get me for both, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So feel free.
Instagram, call them, text them.
Yeah.
And then my favorite right now is still Zillow. Zillow.com/M Classic, or you can just search my last name, KLASEK. I'm the only classic in the state selling real estate, so we can just connect on Zillow, add me as your agent. It's like a friend request on Zillow. Makes things a whole lot easier for everybody. That's it, guys. We just did just over an hour.
Yeah, that was some work.
Yeah, effortless episode. Thank you for coming. This has been a long time coming. We've been really looking forward to this, to hear your thoughts on virtual events, because it's got to be so difficult, so much uncertainty. I'm sure a lot of communication with you and your staff, a lot of planning had to happen. So we appreciate your hard work, and I think that everybody who attends will as well.
It was
Thank you.
sincerely a pleasure. Very
Oh, yeah.
excited.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna
Very
have
excited
you
for the
back on,
future.
I promise.
Tomorrow.
I'd love
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Heck, if we
It's
didn't have
COVID,
to-
so I'm free.
Yeah, maybe that Memorial
I
Let's
have
run
Day
no
it back.
slot.
Let's do a second episode
I
right
have
now.
no plans ever.
No, we got-
I'm free all
Until
the
there's a
time.
COVID vaccine, I'm basically free.
I am free all the time.
Well, thanks again. We're going to sign off, and then we're going to put the registration links in the info.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Peace.
Deuces.
That was so good.
That was so fun.
That was so fun. That was a good one. That was a really
It was a
good one.
blast. I was talking, like, I'm just such a nerd. Like, this is what I love talking about. Like, this is like,